to our next guest, who is going to join us here in just a few moments. And we are also going to bring in Don Mazzella and IQ Al Rassoli to the conversation as well. And we are going to be chatting with Matt Oakley here in just a few seconds here on our big program. And as soon as if you want to join us, you can do so. iHeartRadio, also AMFM247.com, tune in, iTunes, and you can find us each and every day over there at JIGGY, JGYR.com, KJAGradio.com as well. And Matt Oakley is with us today. He has got...
Hello.
And there's IQ Al Rassoli. He is back with us today.
Wait. Don is waiting for you.
I just popped Don in here, so hopefully he will pop up on our call here. But KFRK in Denver, and of course you can find us each and every day over there at JiggyJaguar.com. So Matt Oakley is with us today. He is of course got an amazing background. And so, Matt, talk to us a little bit about how you got started in the music business.
Yeah, happily. Make sure we're all good to go here. I got all my notifications turned off, so we're good now. Technology.
There we are. I think we've got Don now, finally. Okay, Matt, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about how you got started in music and everything, and then we're going to get into the topic here with you.
Yeah, so it just was an organic thing. My dad was always having music playing around the house, whether it be a jukebox or on road trips or wherever he could fit music in. We're at the beach or at the park, he would always have it playing. He was a DJ when he was in the Army. Yep. So he just had this vast playlist always going. And I didn't dive too much into it when I was younger. I was a sports kid. I played football and basketball. And then when COVID hit and we were locked inside and couldn't go out and do anything, we had a piano and I was just noodling around with ideas. Posted some covers on social media and it kind of took off from there. And from there, I just started putting out my own music and tried to hone in my writing skills. And it's got me here now.
That's awesome. Now, Matt Oakley is with us today. He is proud to be a soldier's son. Matt Oakley is honoring not only his father, but all the Gold Star families. He's got a brand new song out there, and it commemorates military families in the new single that is out now. So talk to us a little bit about this single, Soldier's Son, my friend.
Yeah, happily. This is probably my most, you could call it emotional, personal song. All my songs are based off my life and real stories I've gone through, but this one is just bare bones, A to Z, what it was like being the son of a soldier for a guy who served 22 years in the Army. I just put the song up like that. He served 22 years in the Army. We talked to Alpha Bravo and Charlie, and any military member or family member understands what that means. And it's just the way that I was brought up is so replicable to military families. And I wanted to write something that not only commemorated, what do I want to say, gave thanks to the way that my father raised me and everything he did, but also honoring those who have lost loved ones in war, because it's obviously a well-known fact that not everyone makes it home, unfortunately. So I wanted to find a way to make sure we honored those Gold Star families, and we've been able to do that and perform it for them in person. So it's been a really cool journey since the song has come out, and writing it. It means a lot to me.
That is awesome. Don Mazzella, do you got any questions here for Matt Oakley?
Well, of course, but it's the most obvious one. Can you sing part of it right now?
Can you do a little a cappella for us, Matt? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Please.
The verse
that's
starts
all
out
different.
like this. It's he spent 22 years in the Army. We talked Alpha Bravo and Charlie, and what I learned from him's worth more than anything anyone's bought me. A camo jacket with our last name, still in my closet to this day. There ain't enough money in the world you can give me to throw it away. And I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. When every talk I listen. So that's verse 1.
That's awesome.
The whole song is is about that and all the things he taught me as it went on. And it's about a 4-minute song, so I won't do that whole thing. But
Oh
that's,
no,
that's
you're good. We're gonna play it for the radio audience at the end of the show anyway. But Don, I'll start with you. You got any questions here for Matt?
Well, I guess it's a unique environment. Armed forces families, they're kind of insular, but at the same time truly American. Do you when you go out on tour, what do they ask you to sing in terms of songs, and in terms of what are they looking for?
Yeah, I can speak on like my personal, when I go out and I do shows, I like to stay true to form, and I'm a very patriotic person. I like to always honor my roots and where I came from and what I believe in. And so I start every concert off with Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue to honor Toby Keith, the legend. And when my daddy served in the Army comes in, it locks me into that personal feel. And then I kind of phase into my own songs. I try and always engage the crowd and who I am. And I think that's the biggest piece of what makes me as an artist, is just I fully embraced who I am and what I believe in, and I brought that to my music and my show. So I'll go through a couple, maybe 2 or 3 covers I like, and then the rest of it's all original songs. And I think tying that familiarity in, but being majority your own stuff really lets the audience relate to you and hear something new. So that's kind of how I approach my shows and when I'm going out and doing these festivals and private shows and whatever it may be.
That's awesome.
Well, do they often want songs where they can join in?
Yeah, I mean, everyone likes a good sing-along song, so I think that's why I'll sprinkle them in. I'll do Courtesy to the Red, White, and Blue to kick it off. I look out there, everyone's singing them, and people sing along to mine as well. And then I do Live Like You Were Dying, which is a big one. People like to sing that one. Just always feel good early. If I'm doing a cover, I like it to be old school country, so people, A, they know it, and B, it's not just like somebody's out there constantly doing all the modern stuff. I try and tie the old stuff that I grew up listening to with my own set. So yeah, people like to sing along.
In society, everything is black and white and Latino. But do you see that in your concerts, or are they really mixed audience?
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty mixed audience. I don't analyzing a couple hundred or a couple thousand people at a time is always tough, but looking out, it's always, I think that's the best, is seeing a diverse crowd, because my music's not just for one group of people. I like to think my music is for everyone. It's relatable, and it's just about my life. So the more diverse the crowd is, the better. I think it's great. So I have noticed that the crowds are diverse, especially at festivals, and people want to hear different stuff, and it's cool. It's a real cool approach to it.
That's awesome.
Well, I was talking to somebody last week, and they're talking about a study that is in the Pentagon, but no one wants to publish, that perhaps the most integrated group in the United States is the armed forces. Do you see that? White, black, etc., where there's more acceptance of biracial children, etc. Do you see that?
It's not really my wheelhouse. I wouldn't say that I have I don't really go out looking for that stuff, if I'm being completely honest. It's just whoever.
Okay, then I'll back off of it. Let's talk about your music, because I'm thinking, it seems to me that country is the preferred medium for in the armed force, your audience. Is that the case?
Yeah, I'll say, obviously I'm not in the military myself. It was my father who served, and my uncles have served, and my stepfather served, my grandfather served. So I've got a ton of family members who were in the armed services, and country music was just always everyone's choice. So I would like to think that out of the sample size of the people I'm related to, 5 or 6 different members of the United States military, they all love country music. It's just authentic. I think country music feels real. And I think country music also isn't afraid to support our troops and support these men and women who are serving, which is what I wanted to do with my song Soldier Son. And so I have noticed that country music is popular. It was popular with me and my family members. And I'm actually hoping sometime next year I'd love to do some local shows at some of the Army bases in the South. So maybe places even my father was stationed, like Fort Sheridan and Fort Bragg and stuff like that, would be really cool. So yeah, country music's popular all over, but it's definitely the preferred one in the military, I'd like to think.
Well, I'm a Vietnam era, so I'll just ask you this. Do you ever hear the Green Beret song again around your house?
No, I wouldn't say that that's often.
Okay. IQ, you got questions?
You've got any questions here for Matt?
No. First of all, I would like to congratulate Matt. He's a breath of fresh air, a young man who's a patriot. These days, they're putting queers in the American military. Okay,
well,
so
there is that.
Don't
he is politically incorrect, and we love it. Go ahead, IQ.
Matt, you see, I come from Middle East originally. I live in Europe, so I have the right to say whatever I want.
Yeah.
While Don and Jiggy cannot say what they want. They will shut them up. In my case, I don't give a damn. So I'm free to say these things. Your father should be proud of you, and I'm sure he is, just as you are proud of him. But I'm more proud of you because you are young and you are a patriot. Today, patriotism among young people is a denigration of the word itself, which I find that's obscene. Millions died in defense of the flag, and you have idiots burning the flag. I would burn these people with the flag. Jiggy thinks I'm crazy.
No.
They think I'm extreme. I'm not extreme. I'm a patriot. Although I'm not an American citizen, I applied for a green card. I spent 3.5 years to get it and several $1,000s. So if somebody talks to me about illegals, try not to open your mouth. I'll shut it for you. Don't ever discuss illegals with me. I waited in line. I don't expect anybody to jump the line in front of me. That's it. No, I'm glad. God willing, you will succeed.
Thank you.
I hope so.
Thank you.
So Matt, you're going to be doing. I understand you've got an upcoming performance, or maybe you've already done it. What was this? The Association of United States Army annual meeting and exposition. Yeah. Have you done that yet, or is that coming up for you?
So that's the big one that's coming up here in 2 weeks. It's for AUSA. They're an incredible foundation that's just dedicated to the United States Army, and I performed at their Sunbelt chapter in July, I think it was, and I had the opportunity to talk to and meet members of Gold Star families and talk to them about their sons and loved ones who were lost in combat. Some of them wearing the dog tags with their son's name and all his information who was lost overseas. And it was just such an awesome moment for me because I sat there writing this song to honor these people, and I had the opportunity to perform it live for these families and meet them and hear how much it means to them. So it fulfills me as a person, that the least I can do is say thank you to these people. And so upcoming here in 2 weeks, it's a much larger event, but it's also for AUSA. It's their national annual chapter type expo meeting. There's a ball as well. And so I'll be performing 3 songs there, and one of those will be Soldier Son. I'm happy to say that my father will be in attendance as well, so I'll be performing it for him live. That's as well awesome. As these Gold Star families who were on it. So it's just a really, really cool and really a moment for me in my career that I know I'll never forget, just because growing up, before I ever got into music, it was always respect and support our troops and do whatever you can to, if you see someone out in public wearing their uniform, go up and say thank you for your service. And I always try to do that. And now I'm sitting here with a platform to thank all of them on a global level. And so that's my biggest goal with this song, is to thank the troops and honor the ones we lost.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. Go ahead, Don.
Out of curiosity, what does your wife think of all this?
She's my girlfriend right now. We're not married yet, but she's the same way. She's extremely supportive. She came with me to the AUSA event when I performed it in Florida. Be flying to DC with me to watch me perform it. She's a patriot as well, and my goal one day is to raise a very patriotic family with her and pass down the things that I learned from my dad, eventually my kid's grandfather, and so on and so forth. So she's on board with it all.
That's awesome.
Sure helps when you have someone like that with you.
Yeah, I've got a good one. I've got a real good one.
So Matt, who were some of your musical heroes and influences?
Yeah, I love this question just because it allows me to give flowers to the people who have kind of paved the way and inspired me to make music. I'd say modern artists that I'm really inspired by and would love nothing more in the world than to collaborate with in some way, shape, or form would be a Riley Green and a Luke Combs. You know, those two guys, their songwriting and the way they approach melodies and their structure from verse, chorus, verse into like these bridges that are just super, super well done as far as storytelling wise. They've become a much bigger inspiration to me. But growing up, bands like Rascal Flatts were really, really inspirational for me. I know that's kind of more pop country, but it also allowed me to find new melodies that I normally wouldn't do with the traditional country approach. So I'd just say your traditional Chris Young, Rascal Flatts. I like Keith Urban. There's a ton of people I could list off. Jason Aldean's huge. But modern, I would say Riley Green, Luke Combs are big influences.
That's awesome. We've got Matt Oakley with us today. He joins us live. We've also got the fantastic Don Mazzella and IQ Al Rassoli with us today. Matt, one of the things that I love about what you're doing is just kind of play off what IQ was saying earlier. You're somebody who is a patriot. You're like rah United States, which is very odd anymore. Can
I jump in there?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not cool to be patriotic in today's world. How do you deal with it?
Yeah, I think I will say that was a hard thing for me to deal with in high school. So I, not in like a bullying standpoint, but just more of like, he's a super Republican or he's a super patriotic. He's just this and that. And it was like, I don't see the problem here. I don't see the issue with supporting our troops and having that tied to some negative connotation. So I think for a little bit, I tried censoring myself and walking on eggshells to please people I didn't even necessarily agree with. So I just learned to embrace how I feel and what I was brought up on. And I think all my upbringing is based around respect and appreciation and support and just to be proud to be an American. And I think if I can now build my platform on that, which is just how I feel and what I believe in, there's nothing more I'd want to leave the world. You know, when it's all said and done, 50, 60 years from now, I want nothing more than to be remembered as someone who is respectful and loves his country. And I think honoring the men and women who serve is the best way I can do that. So I don't think too much about trying to fit in with the crowd or trying to navigate not being cool, being a patriot. Like I'm very patriotic, and I'll go out dying that way.
What do you
That's
think?
awesome.
Think being paid with that label or that it's cost you some gigs?
Maybe, and if it has, then I don't want to do them. You know, like if the only if they're saying go up on that stage and sing, but you can't be patriotic as a person, then I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to work for or with those people because I think there's just a disconnect on our values that there's an audience for everyone. You know, there's an audience for those people who are patriotic and aren't patriotic. And I performed at this festival in the spring called Patriot Fest, and that's exactly what it was. We had paratroopers flying in. We had flags flying on the stage. We had actual service members come up on the stage while acts were performing, and like that felt right. Like it just felt like who I was and what I wanted to be involved in. So if it makes it harder, it makes it harder. But I'd rather it be more difficult with me being myself and honoring and supporting and being patriotic than trying to fit some mold of some, wishy-washy, like in-between person. I think everyone these days tries to play it safe and be in between. I think there's something value about having an opinion and not being afraid to speak it. And I'd like to think that I do that now.
I agree wholeheartedly. Do you see some of the older guys, the veterans, reacting differently to your songs than the younger families?
I think that it's appreciated at all levels. I've met a bunch of older, we call them fans or attendees to shows, and I've had a bunch of young people. And I think that's the thing is, in a world where everyone's trying to make it not cool, I'll happily be the person who's trying to make it cool again. I think that we lost a lot of patriotism as a country, and I don't think that should be lost on our youth growing up. And it was such a big part of who I was that if I can be in any way, shape, or form as I grow a platform for people to look and be like, that guy loves his country and he was successful doing it, then other people will feel comfortable doing it as well. So I think it's just you chip away at it and embrace who you are, and this is who I am. So,
Great.
That's awesome.
Back to you, Jiggy.
So Matt, what do you think of all the various things that are going on in music and just some of the way people market their music and all these various things? Because you have obviously found a way to market your stuff and get your stuff out there. What do you think of folks that are doing it the other direction?
There's what's the saying? There's a million ways to skin a cat type thing. Like you can, there's a million ways you can do it. I don't think I've figured it out by any means. I think I've just started to figure out what's worked for me and just trying to nail down that and really get like a process that is replicable for me. I don't think that you have the label approach where it's just blast guerrilla marketing all over the place. But I think the way that I'm doing it and we're doing it is getting the music out in front of people, a niche group that we think is going to be fans of not only the music and how it sounds, but the words and the story that's being said. So I think when it comes to marketing music in this day and age, whatever your opinion is, just be authentic. Be authentic to you and put it out there, because with social media and TikTok and Instagram and the resources we have, there's 9 billion people on this planet. Regardless of what your opinion is, if you lean into it, you're going to find somebody that likes it. And hopefully if you find one person, you can find 5 and find 10 and find 100, 1,000, 10,000. And that's how you build a fan base. I think it takes a little longer than I thought, but we're doing it. And the last year and a half has been really successful in doing so. So just rinse and repeat on this side.
That's awesome. So Matt, before we let you go, how do we get in touch with you online and social media and buy your music and just everything you've got going?
Yes, sir. So you can find me on every social media platform at Matt Oakley Music. So it's just MATT, Oakley like the glasses, and then music, and that's on every platform. If you want to check it out on Spotify, Apple, Pandora, Amazon Music, wherever you get your music, it's just Matt Oakley, and wherever you get your music, it should be on there.
Fantastic. Well, Matt, thanks for making some time for us today. Thanks for coming on and chatting with me and the guys, and really appreciate the time.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, my friend. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you, Matt. There he goes. That is Matt Oakley. He joins us today.